What a roller coaster of a weekend we've had on the Zero to Hero series. We were out to attack the Ultra Attacking Special Weekly. We scoured the Game Week Centre where we're looking for the biggest and best teams to go and smash out goals galore this game week and look to identify those forwards, those strikers that were going to be in amongst the decisives and smashing massive scores. And I've got to say, guys, big pat on the back to us. We did a fantastic job. Salzburg running out 3-1 winners, Gladbach winning out 4-1 winners, but the problem we had is we picked up 4 forwards when we only needed 3, so we had a real headache, a real dilemma on how to actually formulate the squad to make sure that, we smashed it, we nailed the picks, and we got in amongst the prizes. In the video today, we're going to have a look at how we did over the weekend, as well as give away a card to someone that got involved in last week's video. And for any of you that are watching this right now, if you get into the comment section of this video, you're going to be in with a chance of winning a free card this time next week on the next episode of the Zero to Hero series at any point in the video. If you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. This series is aimed at beginners starting up on a budget, looking to hustle and bustle their way through the SO5 leaderboards. But with us attacking the special weeklies, I know Sorare scouts and managers all around the world that know a thing about a thing or two have been tuning into this series and been tapping in to those special weekly successes. But if you are brand new to Sorare and you haven't opened up your account yet, there's a link in the description in this video that will get you $50, pounds, euros, whatever your currency is, of market credit to go out and reinforce your squad. By clicking on that link, you support me and all the content here at the channel, so thank you in advance if you do. So if you get stuck or if you've got any questions or whatever, jump into the comment section and I'll come and sort you out. And, if you're in the comment section, you're also in the chance of winning a card, so what's not to like? Also in the description of the video is my new to Sorare playlist, so if you aren't an actual beginner, that's the sort of video you want to check out first before coming in to a strategy kind of budget scouting video like this one. But yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it, because like I mentioned, we ID'd Salzburg as having a great game at home, we ID'd Gladbach with a great game at home and some players that have got great home form. Nenny Dorgales did what he says on the tin and he brought in a massive 91 point score with a double decisive here against Klagenfurt. We also had Peter Rakov but go out and really let us down. No decisive, no AA, only 32 points for him. Tim Kleindenheis of Gladbach, who's now got himself into the German national team, did the business. Just brought in that decisive, got his 60 on the board, job done for him. And then we had the streets won't forget Alisson Player bringing in a double decisive and racking in an 86. And honestly, I was so happy to see this score, because Player is one of those ideal forwards that, hey, if he gets a decisive, you're not just bringing in a 60 like a Kleindenheis, but you're going to automatically be in the 70s. And if he can have a really good game, then really any score is on the cards here. And his home form has been exceptional. So super happy that came in. But like I mentioned in the intro, we could only pick 3 of these guys in our team. And sadly, we made the worst decisions possible. We captained Rakov, which just screwed the team over big time, despite Dorgales, despite Kleindenheis. It was only 12 points off of a reward, and Dominic Ryman conceding the penalty in a 1-1 draw, that negative decisive, has probably been the difference. We could have maybe just about got away with it and sneaked into the prizes here. 19 all around for the big man was brilliant, but with that negative decisive, it just absolutely crippled the team. And Teji was just a bit of middle of the road performance, really, wasn't it? In the Premier League, Daniel Munoz really let us down, but we picked our commons, I think, exceptionally well. In La Liga, it just never really got off the ground, to be honest with you. And in the Bundesliga is where we had the Player. Now, we're 14 points off of a reward here, and this is sore, because right before the game week, it felt like Schlotterbeck was injured. He wasn't going to play. And I totally forgot that I'd captained in this team and forgot to go back in and change it. So we had a huge differential on our side with the Schlotterbeck. We had a huge limited card in the Alisson Player. But sadly, Mamouche, good all around, no decisive. Kimmich was a letdown, and Vasilj conceding 2 goals. It just really stopped us. Top 9%, but is nice to see. But sadly, 14 points off is a sore one to take. And in Champion Europe, again, just never really got off the ground with some of those Thibaut Courtois and Kimmich's kind of holding us back again. Now, on last week's video, we gave away a Manfred Ugalde because we wanted to make sure that a power player like that, if we're giving it away, we give it away as soon as possible so that it can get into your club and you can start to level it up, you can start to power it up, so that when the season comes on, you can get as much utility and as much power out of their scores as humanly possible. In the video today, we're going to give away this Juan Brunetta card to one of the random comments on last week's episode. So again, you can get this guy into your gallery, get him leveled up in training and all the rest of it, and be ready for the Mexican season to start. But in this video, if you get involved in the comment section, we're going to be giving away this ML Forsberg card, who again will be coming back for MLS in the new year, and we want him to get into your gallery as soon as possible so you can level him up and you can build your team around him or do whatever it is you're going to do. Now, I actually made a bit of a faux pas on the recording for this one. So we had 4 boxes to open and the screen never caught it. I'm really sorry. Well, I did catch it, but I didn't catch everything. So you'll see what we got in the boxes here. We had a normal box, and we had a few neon Christmas boxes as well. And guys, the power-ups were raining in big time. We did manage to get a little bit of essence as well, but not enough to craft. We're sitting on 9 essence at the moment. But across this neon Christmas, I've been logging into the Zero to Hero account when possible to bring in these Christmas boxes to see what we can get out of them. And as you can see, as we've opened them up, it has just been raining power-ups for us. Now, I know for tons of you, preparations are way underway for MFL Season 2, but I get so many comments and DMs from people saying, Quinny, what's the game all about? And, you know, is it too late to get involved and all the rest of it? But Season 2, the preparations are happening now. If this is a game you're looking to pick up and play, now is the time to do it. In the description of the video, there's a link where if you click on it and open your account directly, you support me and all the content here at the channel, and then you get your account loaded up with all the Bruce free beginner bonus stuff you're going to need to build your squad and get yourself up and running as quick as possible. Make sure to check out all the content I've got on the channel so you can see the beginner mistakes to avoid and really the process you go through to opening the account. I will have some more tutorial based videos coming out over the festive period, of course, but if you do get stuck or if you've got any questions, jump into the comment section and I'll come and help you out. And this now gives us a really difficult or interesting kind of strategy point here, because now this account has 23 limited power-ups. But if any of you aren't aware, every card can only receive 3 power-ups as a maximum. Okay, now as you can see here on level 7, to get to level 8 it takes 900 XP. If we look at someone who's a little bit further back on that list, let's see, like an Austin Trusty here, level 3 only takes you 300 XP to get from one level to the other. Now these level ups are only you know, they're exclusive to the card. So as you can see here, I've not powered up Trusty, someone else did, and that's why only 2 power-ups are now available on this card. And the power-ups will throw you up a full level. It doesn't matter if it's from level 1 to level 2 or level 19 to level 20. But as you can see, the levels get harder and harder to climb up and to climb up as you progress. So although we've got buckets of them coming out of our ears, I'm going to be really paying attention and paying mind to when these guys break past level 10 so that we can start to throw them up some of the levels so we can get as much XP, as much utility out of them in this current season of the Zero to Hero series as we possibly can. But with so many of these guys being around level 7, 8, 6, 5, that kind of thing, it feels pretty futile to use these now. So I'm really happy just to stack them up and have them when we use them. We might be looking to bring in classic versions of cards now from the secondary market to help the Zero to Hero series. And if we can actually ID high XP classic cards, then we can bring them in and we can power them up very quickly. So I'm going to keep them up our sleeve for later on. And then for a budget account like this, we've got a really interesting kind of headache to choose from. The Best of Europe series is out again this game week with some fantastic prizes, but it only rewards the top 10, so it's a real do or die situation. We have the Hit Your Target. Now, what this is a cap 250 competition where the squad has to fit under that cap on their last 15 games form, you know, the L15 averages that's displayed on Sorare. But this is, again, a do or die competition. If you select your target as 400 points and you hit 399.99, you get 0. You know, so you really need to make sure the team you're building has got enough quality to hit the target you're setting it. And because this account is quite limited to how many cards we've got and what competitions we're going through, this feels a bit, you know, like, you know, we could throw away some big scores like the Alisson player from last week. And really what we'd be looking to win a couple of market credits, which, you know, it'll make it easier to bring more cards into this account, of course, but I can't really give this stuff away. So it's a bit of a difficult one to really get that excited about, although I know a lot of you guys will be for your primary accounts, of course. And when I look at the All-Star competition, if we can build a strong enough team, we could maybe actually bring in a proper box out of this and help boost the essence count that we've got up. But with thousands of entrants coming into this with a packed game week, and the quality of the squad, like I've already know the cards obviously, and I've seen the fixtures we've got, it's hard to imagine we're going to get a high scoring lineup. This is the kind of best core like squad that we've got going into this game week, and by my estimations this team, like if you were to be conservative, is maybe going to be around the 240 point mark or something like that, give or take. So for the select your target, I would feel quite confident we could hit 300 points and bring in $5 of market credits. But I wouldn't feel confident that this team, with another player in it, take your pick of who we've got and who we're going to go and scout and maybe bring in, would be able to smash big enough to get a box or even get a card or something like that out of All-Star this game week. Now, because it's capped 250, you could just field 5 players of like a decent L15, you know, like they're not too high, they're not absolute smashers, they're not that expensive, but they, you know, maybe have a good game. They're at home, like Playa and Kleindenheis from last week, perhaps. But the number one strategy coming into a mode like this is always looking for those L15 of 0 cards. And if we jump onto the market here to have a wee look at what's going around, who could be playing and all the rest of it, we're going to hit the filter tab here so that we know they've got a game in this game week here. And then we're going to change the L15 average score. I think my limit is 31 at the moment, so we'll move that to there and we'll take it from there. And as you can see, when you get into these cards that have got a really low L15 position, you need to be really aware. You need to be really conscious of different developments at different squads, guys that might be injured, suspended, rotated, returning from injury, that sort of thing. Now, the filter I've got on the now is for in-season cards only, so we're not getting much variety, I don't think, on the lower L15 scores. Maybe some guys have changed division, they only have classic versions available now, that sort of thing. So we'll change that tab and have another little peek at it. But this is definitely a mode in a situation where you need to know a guy that's going to come in pretty good. Marvin Park is always a player that's impressed me, by the way. I think he's a former Real Madrid youth prospect. It looks like he's on his way back from injury. And he's a guy that can be quite good, quite handy, but as you can see, his scores are never really that exceptional unless he does get his decisive. Las Palmas had a good result with the weekend. My goalkeeper, Killison, scored really well. Reinaldo is normally a good guy, but again, doesn't look like he's going to be playing. And really, as I scan through this, there's nothing really that overly jumps out. Danny Ward is a potential shout here who might be coming into goals for Leicester this weekend with, I can't remember if their guy gets suspended or injured or whatever it is, but I know Harry Trades is mad high on Danny Ward, maybe getting some utility this game week. And for £2.13 for an L15 of 29 goalkeeper, that could be one of the cheat codes to go for, no two ways about it. Douglas Luiz on an L15 of 29. He's been coming back into the squad. He's been off the bench the last 2 games in a row. And maybe he's a little sneaky one, by the way. I actually don't mind that because Juve did play midweek. I don't know if it was Coppa Italia or whatever. And although he's not in the projections to start this game week, it wouldn't be a huge shock if Douglas Luiz did get the start or get more significant minutes. If we look at the last 2 games, here against Manchester City, he got 5 minutes. And in the last match against Venezia in the league, he got 24 minutes. So it's a tough one to go out on a limb on, but definitely one I'm being mindful for. If we get any developments, maybe I'll jump back on the account and go and pick him up. John McCracken, an L15 of 29 for a goalkeeper who will play. I think they've not got a good game this week. Yeah, they're away to Rangers, so they'll be scorned and they'll be looking for revenge on anyone that comes near them after losing their most successful club in the world title this game week, which is just hilarious. And again, scrolling through this, is anything really jumping out at us? I'm not so sure. I'll check out one more page of this or so, and then I've actually got a guy that I do want to bring in. I've already ID'd for this. And yeah, I don't think there's anything that obvious jumping out at us here on the secondary market. But I got news on the timeline, I think it was yesterday at point of recording, I sent it straight to Andy Laird. The big Buongiorno is going to be out now for the next couple of games. And Rafa Marin looks to be the one that's going to step into the void. He is currently L15 of 0. Napoli are away to Genoa, and this feels like a really good card to be picking up. And again, I thought this guy was going to crush it in Serie A. He's a very good ball-playing defender. And coming into an Antonio Conte team, I thought he would have just absolutely smashed, but he's going to have to make lemonade out of the lemons he's got here and take his chance against Genoa. I actually picked up a rare because the rares are just mad cheap, especially with some of the market credits I've got on my main account to use for in-season, just because an in-season Napoli defender for £6, it just felt really good. Even the super rare isn't, in-season's maybe a bit punchier, but classic's not that bad, is it? And look at the price of the limiteds, really. Like, you can get some of these out-of-season ones really, really affordable. What I'm trying to peek at here, but is if any of them have, like, significant XP on them already, like we've already mentioned all those level-ups we've got, you know, could we... He's at level 12. Non-transferable XP, 1.5. So I think we're going to lose 3 levels. So that should take him down to level 9. He's almost at level 13 as well. That would have made it a bit easy. And you know what? Let's do it. Let's bring him in because Rafa Marin is another defender, and you know, For the champion Euro defenders we've got, Ben Henrik's has been fine but does let us down. Daniel Munoz has been fine but does let us down. So a wee bit of reinforcement in the defence I think is actually a pretty sweet move. And it's 79p. It feels like a good pickup. And then, yeah, let's just rattle 3 power-ups on him. Get him back up to where we had him before we bought him, essentially. And apologies in advance for anyone that eventually gets this card from us. We've just rattled it up here. But let's get him back up to level 12. And, yeah, let's just get him cooking. And I'm going to captain Austin Trusty. The captain score increases by 50%. Now, that makes me a lot more confident that we could actually get to the mid-target in this one. So we're going to confirm our lineup. And we're going to go for the medium target. Try and get that. So if we think Trusty could bring our 100 points for that captain's armband, give or take. If we get Playa to bring in, let's just say he does get his decisive and he does 70, right? So that's 170. Ryman, let's say he does 40. That's 210. Clarkson could do about 50 on average. So that's 270. And then Rafa Marin. Could Rafa Marin get to 80? Actually, that's a bit steep, isn't it? That's conservative on Clarkson and Ryman. Ryman's got a really tough fixture. Let's just go for the bottom target and let's just make sure we get some success from it. 79p cards to buy him and then get £5 of market credit, which would make getting like a £10 player later on really easy. Feels like that's probably the move for this account. Oh, Munoz is suspended. So I think I might actually go out and try and get another Premier League defender, but who, like, rather than a Munoz type, just a guy that's like really cheap and halfway decent most of the time, I want to have a wee peek at what common would I actually like, and then see, you know, is there a cheap enough limited of one of the top picks I would have for defence here. And the fixtures are okay. I found it quite easy to pick the Leno. Maybe that lends itself into us going with Jedi Robinson, but we also have Lewis Hall looking not too bad. Anthony Robinson at home at Southampton. After being so good against Liverpool, he's on decent enough home form as well, by the way. It's only really that Arsenal game. Aston Villa's not too bad. Newcastle isn't great. But yeah, let's go and see Anthony Robinson. How cheap is he? Yeah, Jedi's a wee bit punchier, isn't he? Lewis Hall's probably spiked in price at the moment, so I think I'll check out Lewis Hall. I actually really like the thought of Gab Mag. So we'll check out Lewis Hall, Gab Mag, Josko, and Van Dijk. Lewis Hall more expensive than Anthony Robinson. Josko, unsurprisingly, very expensive by comparison. Van Dijk surprisingly a little bit higher for a classic than I thought he would be. And Gab Mag surprisingly expensive as well. I think we will just get the Anthony Robinson. Pound for pound feels like definitely one of the best defender options for this game week. And comparing him to some of the other guys, like he is half, if not an even smaller fraction of the price. And I think for Daniel Munoz, that's actually a nice kind of alteration, you know, between the two of them. I think Munoz was a lot cheaper, it must be said. But I'm actually quite confident this Prem team could smash. I'm tempted on changing the Elliot Anderson, maybe later on. I actually quite like the thought of Bruno Guimaraes as well against Ipswich. Because Charlie Dunbar was telling me about Tonali being a bit deeper. But Elliot Anderson is just slaying it, so probably best not to overthink it. We'll stick with that. And for La Liga, it's a little bit tougher to actually pick the team together. I'm actually seeing I've got Aspas and Aaron Baru here to be playing against each other, so I maybe want to avoid that just for slice of, you know, piece of life and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I suppose I could play Starfelt. I don't mind that. And Captain Raf at home for Barca. We are picking Gazaniga. I know you're all shouting at me right now, but he kind of looks like the best keeper on paper for this one. And then in the Bundesliga, we've got a bit of a Frankfurt Leverkusen double play here with the Kleidenheis being the wild card. And I'm kind of in the Captain Works kind of zone these days. Champion goalkeeper is actually quite a difficult one to iron out. I do like the thought of going for the Leno again, but as I was scrolling at the top order up here, like Vanya feels very good to me this game week. Maybe Labrovic could be a funny one away from home. De Gea at home to Udinese could be handy as well. I think I might actually go for the De Gea because he's just a bit fun, isn't he? And then between the limiteds, we've got to choose between Benny Henriks or Jerry Moreno. And I think Jerry Moreno is going to feature in this game. He's certainly going to come off the bench if he doesn't start this one. And way to Leganés, like, I think I fancy that more than playing the Henriks. And I'm just playing KDB on a bit of a, I don't know if it's quite a hunch necessarily, but he's due a massive score. It's a big game City are under all sorts of pressure. As I'm saying all this, maybe I just, forget that. And Mamouche. I'm looking at De Gea again. Maybe I do just go Vanya. Yeah. Cross our fingers and toes for that. So I've actually brought in 2 cards into the Zero to Hero series, which is all good fun and games as well. But it's that top point of the video where we're going to give away our Juan Brunetta. Good luck to all 35 of yous that entered this one. This is always a nice card to give away, Brunetta, because he's like a boss midfielder, you know, takes set pieces and all the rest of it. Don't forget to get involved in the comment section of this video if you want to win that Forsberg next week. And every week on this show, no matter what the episode, we're giving away cards all the time. And we're hand picking these guys as boss budget cards. And congratulations to Mo408. Hopefully Cunha and João Pedro perform this game week. Well, let's not get into Wolves and all the rest of it, but congratulations to you, mate. You've won the Juan Brunetta. Don't forget, guys, to jump into the comments section on this video, hit like and subscribe for more content like this on screen, and now some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.